Cheers, everyone. Dave Brown here with the New Populace. Thank you again for joining me. So it happened again. There's a headline floating around where Trump says that he will give Ukraine more weapons than they've ever gotten. And when I saw this headline, I'm like, this doesn't sound good. Of course, you know my position. I am against arming Ukraine. I want this war to stop immediately. And when I saw this headline from Trump, I said, this is not good. And I fell for it. And I should know better because for the last 7 years, we keep seeing these headlines about Trump that don't give you the actual context of what he was saying. And this case was no different. So we see headlines like this from the Daily Wire. I'll give Ukraine more weapons than they've ever gotten if Putin does not end the war. Now, is that really what he said? Not exactly. Here's the actual clip of him talking about giving Ukraine more weapons.
You said you could end the war in Ukraine in 24 hours.
Yes, I do.
How would you do that?
I know Zelensky very well. I felt he was very honorable because when they asked him about the perfect phone call that I made, he said it was indeed perfect. He said it was, he didn't even know what they were talking about. He could have grandstanded, oh, I felt threatened.
Well, that's not going to be enough for Putin to stop bombing
No,
Ukraine.
I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is that I know Zelensky very well and I know Putin very well, even better. And I had a good relationship, very good with both of them. I would tell Zelensky, no more. You got to make a deal. I would tell Putin, if you don't make a deal, we're going to give them a lot. We're going to give them more than they ever got if we have to. I will have the deal done in one day. One day.
So Trump is not saying, I'm going to do this. He's saying this is a ploy. I'm going to tell Zelensky one thing, that you're cut off. I'm going to tell Putin the exact opposite. And I'm going to force these two together to negotiate and end the war. So he's not literally going to do it. It's a threat to force people to negotiate. So nothing wrong with that. Will it work, especially now that he said it out loud? Probably not. But I will say this, and this goes for Trump and for every other Republican candidate. If a Republican wins in 2024, they will assume office on January 20th, 2025. The chances that this conflict is still going on are very, very slim. So I make a big deal out of foreign policy and what these candidates are saying about Ukraine. But in the end, their opinions may not matter because, again, this war will probably be over. The reason I care is because it's not just about Ukraine, it's about Taiwan and China and their viewpoints on Ukraine. Tell us how they might act in a different situation with a different adversary like China. So that's why I pay attention to it. That's why I think it's important, despite the fact, again, by the time any Republican gets into office, this war should be over. I can't imagine Ukraine hanging on for another year and a half against Russia. I just don't see that happening. So another Trump clip taken out of context, people making way more of it than they should. This is just normal Trump talking about how he would play both sides to get an outcome. And the threat of actually giving more weapons to Ukraine isn't really real. So, not a big deal. That's it for now. Thank you for joining me. I'll see you next time.